This is Russ. Yeah, I'm back in the car again. What time is it? 6:44 a.m. 12 degrees outside. It's on a Sunday. Yeah, I figured I'd turn the camera on. Mrs. Wright is not in the car. I can't seem to make videos when Mrs. Wright is in the car. Gotta do it myself. Are you guys like that? You can only do certain things by yourself, but not when anyone's around. Yeah, that's how my videos go. Yeah, I pretty much have to do it on my own. So where's Mrs. Wright? Well, today I am playing keyboards at church, and so I am there for 3 whole services, so it's a long day. So Mrs. Wright has decided not to go. Sometimes she takes care of little kids at church, but she's not assigned to do it this week, so she says, I'm just going to stay home. She's going to watch us on YouTube. Or Zoom. You can go either way. Just there, we have it available both times. It's for the 10:30 service. Yeah, we have services at 8 in the morning, 10:30, and 12 o'clock. Yeah, so worship team practice starts at 7 a.m. in the morning. 7:30 in the morning. 7 a.m. I'm leaving a little early. I was just kind of sitting around anyway. I figured, well, I'm sure there's people there because people are setting things up. I'm just going to go. And I get to go, then I can practice a little bit before everybody else shows up. We have a very minimal worship team today. We only have me on keyboards, the worship leader on guitar, plus 1 extra backup singer, and a bass player, and drums. That's it. Yeah. Well, the worship leader plays acoustic guitar. So we basically have 3 instruments plus drums. Now, you might be saying, okay, come on, drums is an instrument. That's true. But it doesn't play any of the melodies, right? It's rhythm. So if you just simply say, okay, what about the instruments that play the actual melodies and chords and things? Well, that's only 3 of us then, right? Well, even the bass doesn't play a chord, it just plays a single note. So anyway, today I had asked the worship leader, I says, with such a minimal group this time around, are you going to let me flex a little bit? When I mean flex, meaning, are you going to let me play it the way I feel like playing it? Because that's how I play. Yeah, I play the way I feel like. I never play the same song the same way twice. I think that frustrates her. Probably frustrates everybody else too. No, I don't play the same song the same way twice. It's always slightly different every time I play it. That's because I've mentioned before to you guys, I play by ear. Yeah, I don't look at any music. They give us information via an app. Okay, so the worship leader will tell us what songs we're going to play for that week. And then she'll have sample songs. Yeah, she'll have samples of it. Whether it's a recording of it or a YouTube video of it or something so that you can hear what the song sounds like, right? And then we are to learn and play along with that song. So we don't get actual music. It's not written out on notes or anything. The best you'll get is lyrics with chords above it. Say C, F, G, A. I don't even look at that stuff. Yeah, she probably doesn't like to hear that. I don't even look at that stuff. I listen to what's going on and I play it. That's just how I've always played music. I find that if I look at the music, if it was all written out for me, it would actually slow me down. Yeah, I am not the best sight reader. So if you give me music, musical staff, right? I could read it, but I'm slow at it. My brother's a different story. He could play anything. He could read it and play it. Just throw any music up there. He'll read it and play it. I can't do that. I was never able to do it. I probably will never be able to do it. I mean, I'll struggle with it, but I can read it. I just can't read fast. So I find to be more accurate in playing, I just listen to it and play it. That's how I do it. Yeah, I've told people before, even if I've never heard of this song before, something on the radio, as long as it's melodic and normal, not like weird, you know, just like, I mean, it's contemporary Christian music, so how hard could it be, right? If I hear it, I play it, because I do have perfect pitch, so I can hear something and know exactly what note you're playing. It may take me a microsecond to hear and translate it to my fingers, but it's quick enough that you probably would never be able to tell. And you can kind of predict where songs are going. Yeah. You know, if it's, like I said, if it's not some weird weird music that makes no sense in the melodic line, as long as it's standard pop music, contemporary Christian music, any of that kind of stuff, I can play along with it. Yeah. Fake my way all the way through it. The problem with this is if they make a mistake, we all go down. I can't bring them back because I'm listening to them as as playing it. Now, I do know the songs. It's not like I don't know the songs. We're playing 3 songs. These 3 songs are going to be songs that we've done before, but the arrangements are a little bit different. Ooh, that makes it a little bit tougher now, right? Because you kind of remember how you play it usually. Well, they changed it up. 2 of the 3 songs have been changed up. So, and the thing is with the keyboard, especially with only keyboard, acoustic guitar, and bass, and drums, the keyboard usually starts the song. So if you don't know how it starts, we're really in trouble. Yeah, that is always the issue for me for playing keyboards. Playing guitar, yeah, you know, a lot of times the guitar doesn't start the song, you know. So again, that 1 or 2 milliseconds difference, I can pick up and play. Can't do that on the keyboard. You got to know what the intro sounds like because you're starting the song. I'll get there a little bit earlier today and practice out a little bit of that. Now, sometimes I listen to the songs as I head on. Now, okay, the worship leader has just sent a text to us. Let's see what it says here.
In the group with someone with a 224 area code and 3 others, and said, "See you all at 7:30," and sent a smiley emoji. Reply to the group.
Yes.
What do you want to say to the group?
In the car and on my way! Exclamation point.
Sending. In the car and on my way.
See, there you go. What time is it? 6:52 a.m. She sent us a reminder to get ready to go to church. Yeah, well, she has to do that because if we fall asleep and don't wake up and we're late, then everybody suffers, right? We only get to practice. We only get to practice once. Well, okay, maybe if we make a mistake, we play it a second time, but we get to practice it once before the 9 o'clock service. So we get there at 7:30. We do a sound check. Everybody sets up everything. By the time we actually start playing, it's usually at least 7:45, 7:50. And then we practice it a little bit. Then we get off the stage because the pastors have to get ready and do their sound check and everything. So we really only get to play the song together once before we actually perform it for the 3 services at 9 o'clock, 10:30, and 12 o'clock. Okay. Now, people have said to us they're really surprised at how good we are able to do that with one-time practice. Well, think about it. They gave you the song for the week. You're listening to it on an app. You're playing along with it. It's the same thing as playing with everybody else. As long as you play what you hear on the song, you can expect that the other guys are doing their parts on the song too, right? So really, we don't really need to practice together except once through just to kind of make sure everyone's playing things correctly and then correct any little mistakes maybe we didn't do, right? And then, then we play. Yeah. Well, the thing is the musicians have to be pretty good. I'll say that. They do have to be pretty good, or it's going to be very hard for them to play with our worship team. And all of them are very good. So we have a number of musicians that we rotate. So we don't play every single week. The worship leader's there every single week. I mean, that's her job. She's a full-time person on staff at the church. But the rest of us are, we get rotated in and out. So I might play once a month. I might play once every 3 weeks. Sometimes I've played once every other week. Sometimes it'll go a month and a half before I get to play. So it depends on what she decides she wants for that week, and then she puts the person in for that week. And everyone has different schedules. Some of the guys, they're too busy. It's very hard. Like one of the guitar guys I was talking to, I said, hey, I haven't heard you play in a while. He goes, yeah, it's been busy this whole season. So he doesn't have time to jump in and practice and play it. So he's just kind of, he comes to church, but he's not playing up on the stage. So yeah, everyone has their own thing. Now for me, I've got the time to do it. So I always say, if you need me to come in, I can do it. And she knows too that if somebody gets sick, I can jump in and play it right away. And that's happened a couple times. I've mentioned this before. I'm mentioning all this stuff again because this might be new to some of the new people here. And again, we moved everything to the Russ is Right channel, so I'm just filling everybody else in. But I've told her that, if somebody gets sick, contact me, see if I can jump in and play the songs. And that has happened several times where I've only had a day's notice. One time I only had like an hour's notice that the bass player wasn't able to play, so I jumped in. But I'm able to do it, and I think she knows I can do it. So it's worked out that way. I've filled in for her one time too. I came in, and she wasn't up there. Everybody else was up there. I go, well, where is she? And they said, well, her son had an issue, so she wasn't able to make it. So I said, do you want me to jump in and play? And they said, if you can do it, yeah. So I jumped in, I grabbed her guitar and played. Had to adjust the strap. I'm a little bit bigger than her, okay? So the guitar is too high up, and I had to adjust the strap of her guitar, and then I played it, yeah. But it's songs that we've played before. It's not, if it's songs that you've never heard, then you always take a little gamble. But even if it was, like I said, something I'd never heard of before, I could do it. The backup singer led the service that particular Sunday because she wasn't able to make it, the main worship leader. So that's why we're in the car so early in the morning. So it's 6:57 right now. By the time I get to church, it'll probably be, what's my ETA here? Yeah, it's about 7:07 arrival time. So I'm going to be there earlier than everyone else. But again, like I said, that'll give me a little chance to play and practice a little bit on my own early in the morning. And then, then we'll play it. Now, the keyboard is, is not my main instrument. It's typically the guitar is my main instrument, but I started out on keyboards, for those that don't know. I was probably, I'm going to guess about 7 or 8 years old when I started keyboards. Yeah, but my brother was always better than I was. He's a professional musician. He teaches piano, and he's a private instructor. So anyway, I couldn't play as well as him, and like I said, I have a hard time reading the music anyway, so I ended up quitting. And then a little bit later, I said to my parents, hey, I want to learn guitar. And of course, my parents said, well, you quit the piano. How do we know you're not going to quit the guitar? And I said, well, if you let me play guitar, I'll play forever. And to this day, I'm still playing. Yeah. And I'm using my piano skills too. Yeah. I'm using my piano skills to play at church now. I have not ever played in a band as a keyboard player before until this church that we're going to now. But I've played every instrument at church except for the drums. But I did play the drums for the kids worship team. Yeah. For the adult services, we have other drummers that'll play, so you don't need me to play that. But yeah, I can play all the instruments that are there. So it'll be interesting one day if something happened and the drummer couldn't make it. I'd be curious to find out if she'd call me and ask me to play it. I think people would be surprised at church because they've never seen me either. Unless they were part of the kids services, then they would know that I can do it. But I can't. I've never done it for the adult services. So instrument-wise, I do play guitar. So I do acoustic guitar and electric guitar and lead guitar. So rhythm and lead guitar, electric. And then I also play the keyboards. I play the bass, and I play the drums. Yeah, and I sing too, but I have not sung for church. Yeah. So anyway, that's where I'm headed. That's why I turned the camera on. You might see I'm getting a little brighter too because the sun is starting to come out a little bit now. Yeah. Oh, well, I won't keep you the entire time. I've got 7 more minutes before I get there. But hey, I appreciate you guys hanging around and listening to my story. So, but that's what I'm up to today, and that's where I'm headed. So anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think of the super night mode on the camera. I remember to turn it on this time. Yeah, at one time I did what was it, 5 o'clock something time, and I was riding around in the car, and it looked kind of dark. Yeah, but the super night mode does help out. It does brighten up that night scene. So the camera does do a pretty good job. This is the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro. They have an Action 6 now, but I don't see the need to upgrade, really. This one does a pretty good job as it is. And then I use the DJI Mic 2. I don't feel the need to upgrade to the Mic 3. I think if I had 4 people talking at the same time, because it is a 4-channel thing, that might be another story, but I don't. So no reason to do it. All right. Okay, I am back. 12:27 p.m. Yep, we are all done with the 3 services. Well, actually, the 3rd service is still going on, but the worship team is done playing, so it's time for me to head back home. Hey, there's some e-bikers. Are those e-bikers? Those look like e-bikers on the road. Well, let me see here. No, they're not. Regular bikers. Yeah, they got panniers and everything. Yeah, these guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Yeah, they must be going on a trip or something. Man, it's kind of cold to do it. Well, it's 28 degrees right now. So let me give you an update on how the worship team did. Since I started out this video talking about the worship team, we did pretty good. Yeah, considering we had a low amount of instrumentation today. We did not have extra guitars, no electric guitars today. But yeah, we did pretty good. Yeah, overall, very happy with it. So I think people were surprised it was a minimal group today, but it came out pretty good. Yeah. All right, anyways, that's all I wanted to say, give you an update that we did well and everyone's happy. Now I'm hungry, got to go home. I think I'll make the chicken pot pie soup. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's actually the filling of a chicken pot pie without the pie. Well, if you stretch it a little bit, it becomes a soup. So it depends on how you want to look at it. Here's one thing I do add to it. I don't know if I mentioned it before when I did that video about the chicken pot pie soup. I do put in some Parmesan cheese at the tail end just before I serve it to myself. Gives it a little more extra flavor. All right, anyways, if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I'll talk to you guys next time.